How are you, Dad?
Doing all right. Try not to think about Spurs too much, but also good time to vent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, were you at the game yesterday?
Wasn't at the game. I haven't been able to go to the game for a while. Just haven't had the time or the money for it. Next game I'm
lucky.
going to, I think, is Norwich at home. So hopefully, either things are looking better for that, and if not, it's just Norwich. So hopefully, it'll still be a result.
Yeah, there's some sort of noise I can hear, some sort of background fuzz.
Better now?
And yeah, that's better now. Look, assess that game for me. What went wrong yesterday in terms of, you know, where do we go from here? First of all, never mind what happened at the game yesterday.
Where do we go from here? Further down the table, unless we change something drastically. Because you look at the games coming up, I genuinely, even with Mourinho, I always felt there were games, you know, we can get something out of them, even if you worry about, you know, taking a lead and then dropping it later on or something like that.
At least we were getting in the lead.
At least we'd get in the lead. At least we'd play probably some good football and then just drop back and absorb pressure or anything like that and just have defensive mistakes cost us. Now, it's almost like there's less fear going into a game because we're not going to have something to lose. At the end of the day, I said before the game yesterday, I expect us to hold free today. And lo and behold, we held free. And I think there's going to be a lot more results like that unless, you know, the easiest thing to change right now is the manager. Because we're not going to get, you know, the board or Levy out immediately and have this massive restructure immediately. You're not going to be able to sell the players right now. And whether we are able to sell the players when it comes to the window anyway, the only thing you can change is the manager. Because we've got Everton away next week. And I don't see us getting any result at all. And they haven't been great lately. But like, who can you realistically see us beating, save for Norwich?
I get that, but you know, it took us 75 days to hire Nuno. If we were to sack Nuno now without a plan, where do we go from there? Like, what manager do we even bring in?
No clue. No clue. Like people talk about Mason. It's not because Mason's this great managerial prodigy, but it's because at least with Mason, the football was somewhat enjoyable. Like you could go into a game. I didn't necessarily have high hopes for the games, but they were somewhat enjoyable. And I felt a bit like people, you know, he tend to play his mates a little bit and go a bit safer than he should have. But at least he made the football enjoyable to watch. You look at him against Nuno, and I think he got one of the highest like XGs we'd had for a while in that game. And like we had one of the most shots on target for years or something like that.
Yeah.
At least the football was enjoyable to watch. You didn't necessarily expect us to win every game, but you're enjoying it. Whereas now, you don't expect us to win any game, and we're so boring. We're the most boring I've seen us. Like people joked about us being dinosaur football and everything under Mourinho, but this is the worst I've seen us play in years, and it's consistent.
The games I've been to, honestly, when it's been like 15 minutes gone down, it feels like half an hour. It's so slow. It's like, oh my God, it's just so...
I'm glad I've only been able to watch them on the TV because you can get distracted with other things because there's no enjoyment from watching it. I had a mate round to watch one of the games. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember which one it was. But and we just ended up playing FIFA or something because it's more enjoyable. At least you have control over that and can do something better. The football's just so boring. And we don't have players in a squad that are top 4 quality. Everyone knows that. But we should be able to put out better performances and get better results than we're getting right now. Our goal difference is 4th worst in the league, I believe it is. It's the worst out of the top half, and it's only better than teams like I think Watford and like Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's abysmal.
And even Watford and Norwich are getting more shots on target than us, scoring more goals than us. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
And with the players we have to be doing better than that. I'm all for giving a manager time. Like, in like the first few weeks, people were starting to turn on Nuno. And I was like, no, give him time. Yep. Like, you know, when we were getting the 3-0 to Palace, 3-0 to Chelsea, I was like, you got to give him time to implement his philosophy or at least to turn things around, just see some promising things. I don't see any promise at all. If anything, I think the football's got worse. And I don't know how that's possible over 10 games for the football to be worse now than it is in the first game against City.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's possible.
It seems to be regressing. It really does. And like when you look at Nuno on the side of the pitch, I mean, he looks like a beaten man already. He really does. I mean, and he's looked like that for a while now. It's not like anything new. He looked like a dead man walking from 5 games in. And how can you account for some of these decisions he's making? Ben Davies starting yesterday, like where does that come from, first of all? And also taking off Lucas Moura 10 minutes into the second half. He was our best player yesterday.
The guy, like I said, I like Nuno as a man. I think he seems like a nice guy. And whenever he's done interviews and so on, he comes across quite likable. But he genuinely seems clueless. This was his shot at like a big club in the Premier League, and so far he's blowing it, absolutely blowing it. If it was me, as much as I want to give him time, I would just pull the plug and just put in Mason. Just so at least, you know, we've already had promises broken to us about getting the free-flowing attacking football back and everything. And then we had the mess in the summer about, you know, going for Conte, then hiring Paratici, which then drubbed the rest of our managerial targets. So then we went for Paratici's targets, didn't get the first 2 targets, so ended up getting Nuno in, which is complete antithesis of what we were promised. And then he's serving this up. And yet, what you're saying about the decisions he's making, it's schoolboy. I don't understand how you can be a professional manager who's done, you know, a reasonably good job at Wolves, and you're making these decisions. Where's the justification for bringing in Davis? I don't understand. I would more understand it if we were against Liverpool, a team like that, because you go, yeah, okay, Davis is more defensive than Reguilon. You try and like be a bit more defensive against a team like Liverpool that you know can rip you apart. United held 5 last week, and they've been getting drubbed week on week and just occasionally pulling a result like in the Champions League, whatever, from luck or last-minute Ronaldo brilliance. Mm-hmm. And we're not putting Reguilon, who's been one of our most informed players and one of our biggest attacking threats. It makes 0 sense, and everyone knew that he would be caught out for the first goal. From the minute you saw him on the team sheet, you knew that he'd be caught out. And yeah, it was an amazing goal and all that. But of course, it was Davis who's the one who was meant to be marking Ronaldo and meant to be intercepting that. And the Lucas one, I hope that the players don't believe they were being booed, but the reaction says it all. And everyone, like, I only managed to see it on Twitter. That was a bit where I was in a car journey for the second half of that bit where he got subbed off. And I turned on the stream just to see it because I heard there was boos, and obviously with the delay. And the reaction just speaks for itself. The commentators knew, all the fans knew. And I don't know how Nuno, a relatively experienced manager at this point, can make that decision when, you know, not many players were great, but he was the one trying to make things happen. He made probably our best chance in the entire game. I have no explanation for it. Unless he's trying to get sacked, which you never know, it could be possible. He might have realized that he's in over his head and he wants to go. I just don't understand how you make that decision or any of these decisions.
Do you know what, Dan? That boo, you're no better than me, but for me, that was the loudest boo I'd heard since Sol Campbell.
For the sub.
For the sub, yeah.
See, I wasn't in the ground for that bit. I was still downstairs. I was still downstairs.
So yeah, I think, I mean, I was there for Campbell's first return to Spurs when he was in the Arsenal shirt, and that was bad. This was probably, apart from like when the final whistle was gone, I mean, for an actual moment in the game, I don't think I've heard a boo like that for a long time. It was telling.
And it wasn't just about the sub. I think that's just the collective response for like years of bad decisions on bad decisions and mismanagement and poor managerial choices and the constant regression of football since like Poch's prime. That's just all went into that, and it's just so telling about the state of the club right now. I have no idea why United fans were so worried coming into this game, because we were the easiest big team you could play a week after that 5-0 drubbing, and Nuno just played right into their hands. I haven't heard a reaction like that in a long time, and I just think it's the, I hope, start of the breaking point for maybe change, but it just summed everything up, that reaction, like how angry and betrayed Spurs fans feel right now. Yeah.
And yes, absolutely spot on. And I just really don't know where to turn at the moment. I don't know where to turn. I mean, this club has been absolutely toxic from top to bottom. I said it a few years ago, you know, when Poch got sacked, or just before it, or just after it, I can't remember when it was, but this fan base was turning toxic then. And I said at that time, we really are turning into the Arsenal fan base. And we're there now. We're full-blown Arsenal fan base right now. That's where we're at. And it's 100%. It's a sad state to see. It really is. And I really don't know where to turn.
What is there to be positive about? What is there to be positive about with this club right now? I don't understand. Like, there's zero footballing terms to be happy about. Like,
well, we got a nice stadium. They just acquired a nice golf course. You know,
that's all lovely stuff. But in terms of footballing and, you know, even winning games, we got worried about not winning trophies, and then we got worried about Marino about winning games. Now we're worried about even playing nice. We're constantly regressing, and it only seems like the way further is down. Like in the immediate future, you might get a change in the manager, but then it all depends on who you bring in, because it might just get even worse than that. No one can say that it's going to get better. But like, I don't even think that we're going to sack Nuno soon. Everything seems to point towards the fact that they accept that it's a transitional period and that bad results will happen. When's the breaking point?
Yeah.
Losing to Vitesse? Doubt it. Losing to Everton? Probably not.
if we go out this Conference League group stage, surely they can't. Surely he can't carry on in the job. Surely.
Surely, but the problem is this is Paratici's man. Paratici, like
It's
he's sort of, I
Paratici's
think,
third man.
Paratici's
or
third
fourth.
man, who supposedly, like you look here from Alistair Gold, that he had to play clips from his Valencia side to even convince Levy about appointing him. So now, if Levy sacks him, he's undermining Paratici. You might then be fed up with it and want to go. So then, if you sack him, do you get another Paratici man who's like a Gattuso or something, or do you then just go for an actual attacking manager like we were promised? But then most of them are in a job right now that are worth it.
Exactly.
Potter wouldn't want to come. Ten Hag, although supposedly he was interested and we turned him down or something, I can't remember. Like, why would he come right now? Ajax are playing some of the best football in Europe.
Yeah. They're gonna. Daniel Levy's gonna go back to Fonseca on his hands and his knees, isn't he?
I'd take Fonseca right now. I'd absolutely take it because his football is enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I'm fine with getting dropped 3-0 if you're at least trying and get, I don't know, like 2 shots on target. Is that
That's
too
the
much
thing.
to ask for?
That's the thing, Dan. It's not about the defeats. It's not about the results. It's all about the manner in how we're playing and the manner of the results and the manner of how we're conceding goals, the manner which we're, well, I'm going to say the manner which we're attacking, but we're not attacking at all.
It's the manner of the results. And in each of those games as well, we've been drubbed. You can pinpoint specific errors that Nuno has made that have led to that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, in just United, Davis, in the Arsenal game, playing like Ali and Ndombele with Højbjerg when Skip had been one of our best players and could have provided some cover in the midfield. You look at the Chelsea game, once again, I don't think Skip wasn't playing for the first half, I believe.
Correct.
When he'd been one of our best players. Palace is difficult because, you know, there were other circumstances around it. But then you play what? It was 3 DMs, Winks, Højbjerg, and Skip. Each of these games have been drubbed. There are just schoolboy errors from Nuno, which show that, yeah, things about it. He is not the right man. He's way in over his head. I like him, but I don't see how he can stay in this position much longer.
Great.
All right, Dan, absolutely great call, some great points, and that's your therapy clock.
Good to get it out, yeah. I can try and have a good day now.
Yeah, enjoy your day. Go play some FIFA.
Absolutely. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
See you later.
All right, cheers, Dan.